Peace, my sugar lumps, and thank you so much for your support. Thank you for all the love that you show. Thank you for always showing up and showing out for me. And thank you for supporting Queen Mother, Mrs. Lacey Taylor, the Melanated Millennial Homemaker. Today, you're about to learn how to bake my famous cinnamon rolls. These are the cinnamon rolls that you see that I post, and they just look so delectable and so soft and so delicious because they are. Enjoy this replay, and I hope that you're able to make your cinnamon rolls just as well as I make mine. Because when we bake bread with Lacey, we bake it right the first time. So I'm gonna just pan down my camera. So we have 2 cups of warm water, and to that we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And we're just gonna mix that around in there. Now to that, we're also going to add 2 tablespoons of white sugar. And we whisk that around. And then to that, we get our yeast. And we are adding 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. So that's 2 and a half. 2.5 teaspoons of yeast. And then we're gonna whisk that around. And now we're gonna add 1 cup of flour. Now, when you measure out your flour, what you do is you scoop it. You scoop it into your measuring cup. You don't just take your measuring cup and scoop it into your flour. No, ma'am. No, sir. Because that right there is going to pack your flour down, and you're going to be having more flour than you need, causing a more denser dough. And sometimes a dense dough is good, but not for these cinnamon rolls. 1 cup of flour. And to that, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. Then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And we're going to whisk all that together. And you want to make sure you scrape the sides of your bowl. Okay, so we got that whisked in. Now we're going to add another cup of flour. And we're gonna whisk that in. What we're doing is we're creating what they call a pre-dough. And this creates more air into the dough, creating a more fluffy and airy cinnamon roll. I can just taste it already. So you want it to look like pancake batter, just like this. Okay. You just want to make sure you whisk it in good, scraping the sides of the bowl. And now we're going to start adding the rest of our flour. So we just added 2 cups of flour. Now we're going to add our 3rd cup of flour. And in all, we're going to need about 6 cups of flour. Okay. Three, 4, 5. And let's stop at 5 for a second. And I'm going to explain to you why. Okay, so I said you're going to need about 6 cups of flour. And that's true. That's what my recipe calls for. However, depending on your atmosphere, how it feels. So, say for instance, if you have more moisture in your air, you're going to need more flour. If you have less moisture in your air, you're going to need less flour. So, even though the recipe calls for 6 cups of flour, you may only need 5. But it all depends on your atmosphere. So, I would say hold off on adding that 6 cup of flour until you are able to, mix in all of the first 5, you know what I'm saying? To see if you actually even need that 6th. And sometimes you might need a 7th cup of flour. You never know. So as you can see, I have some wet spots in my dough. This is not a firm dough at all. I'm going to need another cup of flour. I'm just getting up that flour. Okay, so we're going to go for that 6th cup of flour. So I'll clean my hands. Bless you. So this is our 6th cup of flour. And we're going to go ahead and knead that in. You know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this on the work surface. I'm just going to scrape out that flour too. I'm just going to knead that flour into the dough. And see how I'm just working all that flour into the dough? That's how you want to do it. You should be able to clean your work surface just by kneading your dough. Look at that. And you just want to knead it until all the flour is incorporated. And we're going to do our test to check for the doneness of the kneading of the dough. So as you see, our palms are pretty clean, but here's another test you can do. Because what if your palms are dirty? You know? So I take my fist, press down, comes back clean. You're good. You don't need any more flour. See, it's not sticking to my work surface. It's not too wet. It's perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get 1 teaspoon of oil. Put that on our dough. And we're going to knead that into our dough. Uh-oh. Hold on, little one. Hold on. It's okay. Give me 1 minute. It's okay. See, it's okay. Yeah. Yes, I'm an experienced bread baker to where I can rock a baby and knead dough at the same time. Yeah. All right. So now our dough is kneaded. And we're going to get another teaspoon of oil. And we're going to put it into our bowls. Almost done. And we're going to grease our bowl. And you want to make sure you get all in there, okay? The bottom, the sides, all of that. Put our dough into the bowl, flip it, and we're going to cover it with some plastic wrap, and we're going to let it rise for 1 hour and 30 minutes. It's okay. Okay, little one. Boom. So you're gonna put it somewhere warm where nobody can let air get to it, not like breeze or draft free area. Put it in your oven. That's ideal, or put it in your microwave. It's okay. Okay. And I forgot to add, make sure you take out a stick of butter and let it sit while your dough is rising. So it can be a stick of regular dairy butter or vegan butter. Take it out and let it sit at room temperature while your dough is rising. All right, friends. So here we are. We're back. And now it's time for us to make our filling for our cinnamon rolls. Now, look, I'm looking in the eyes and say this. You can either use regular butter or you can use vegan butter. Either way, it's going to do the same thing. Okay. I'm going to use regular butter today. All right. So you want to take the whole stick, and it should have been sitting at room temperature while your dough was rising. To that, you're going to add 1 cup of brown sugar. And you want to make sure you pack it down. You know what? I only have a little bit left in here, so I'm just going to put that in there. All right, 1 cup of brown sugar. And you're going to use about 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. Two tablespoons of cinnamon. That's what I have here. All right. And I'm just going to take a fork. And I'm just going to mix it together. And you just mix it. Take your time. And it's all going to come together. See, it's starting to come together. And it's going to keep mixing. Now, feel free to use a stand mixer or a hand mixer if you need to. I'm just trying to build up my arm strength. That's it. All right, this is perfect. You see this consistency? Perfect. Give it one more good mix. All right, now I'm trying to get our dough. All right, friends, so I got our dough. It's fully risen. First, we're going to go ahead and just flour our work surface. And you want to make sure you flour a pretty big work surface. This is a nice size dough. I'm going to show you a little trick on how I do it, okay? All right, so this is how you know your dough is fully risen. See, we're just gonna press it right there, do the belly button test. If the belly button goes all the way in, it's fully risen. If the belly button doesn't concave, it's still got some time to go. So we're just gonna empty this dough right onto the work surface. We're gonna go ahead and press it out. Perfect, because I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do later in a little bit. So now you want to go ahead and take your cinnamon, butter, and sugar mixture. Smells so good. I'm gonna go ahead and just plop that onto your dough. Now you can use a spoon or I have a spatula. But either way it goes, you have to take your time with this. All right. So we're just gonna slowly press it in.
Smells so good. Make sure you get it corner to corner. Okay. You just want to make sure you smooth it all the way out. Try this thing. Smooth it all the way out.
And nails. And look at my nails.
Your nails are so pretty. Mom is teaching class right now, okay?
Is it?
No, you can't eat it. Go have a seat. So now we're gonna start from the side closest to us and we're gonna fold it. And then from here, we're going to go slowly and little by little, roll it up. All right, and now we're just going to take the dough that's left over and fold it over and pinch. Let me show you. Fold over and pinch. Shh, no chocolate bar right now. We're about to eat dinner. No, ma'am. Now that it's pinched and sealed, we're going to roll the seam side down. And as we roll it down, we're gonna like just squeeze it a little bit and stretch it. And what we're doing right here is we're lengthening our log. This is what makes our cinnamon roll so nice and perfect looking. So now we want to go start in the middle, squeeze just a little bit, and with our thumbs on top, we just want to make a round shape with our hands to round the dough. Perfect. So now we're gonna get our baking sheet and make sure you go ahead and grab your dental floss. Let me go get mine. And then I'm gonna grab my dental floss and baking sheet and I'll be right back. All right, friends, so I got my baking sheet. Now, you're going to need a rather big baking sheet. So this is a full sheet. And if you have, let me turn this. This is a full sheet. And if you have a quarter sheet or even a half sheet, if you have a quarter sheet, you'll need two of them. If you have a half sheet, you'll need two of them. You actually quarter sheet, you need two or more. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your dental floss, put you this way. I've already cut one piece. Actually, I have it upside down. And you're gonna take your floss, go underneath the dough, go up and over. Beneath the dough. Now, say for instance, you're like, Quima, but how do I know how much dough I need to cut? You just take one, take the first one, put it next to the other dough you have. You go underneath both of them. Right in the back, that's that back matches. Boom. And that's what I do. And I put this one next to this one. Underneath. Like right there. And that's how I do it. You know, that's how actually that's like I said, that's how I did it when I first started making cinnamon rolls, but now I'm able to eyeball them and get about the same size. But that comes with time of baking cinnamon rolls for over what 3 years now. Because I didn't start learning cinnamon rolls in my bread baking journey probably until like my second year baking bread. And now they're my number one sellers in my bakery. All right. So here are some. This is what we want to do. We want to make sure they have space. So I'm thinking 4 to a row. Take your time, baby.
Ouch.
Take your time. Oh, you go over here, friend. All right. And so how do we know what space apart to put them? I'm about to show you. No, ma'am, leave the hand sanitizer alone. So you want to be able to put your hand through just like this. Boom, boom, boom. I'll show you again. You should be able to run your hand through. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. And now we're gonna go ahead and press them gently. Just so the middle, no, ma'am. Just so the middle doesn't like pop up and out. So if we don't, this part, when it will rise and then it'll come over and, I mean, it's cool or whatever, but I don't necessarily like that one. Yes, eat the oatmeal cookie. Perfect. And now we cover them. Oh, little girl, no. Now we take our plastic wrap. All right, and we're gonna get one more piece. when I cook for my family, I make sure I reuse a plastic wrap, that can be reused. We don't reuse all plastic wrap. But this is one part of frugal living. All right, and now we're gonna go ahead and put this in a draft-free area for 30 minutes, and I'll be back. All right, friends, so it has been 30 minutes, and as you can see, our cinnamon rolls are fully risen, okay? Also, I forgot to tell you, you wanna make sure that you preheat your oven to 375 degrees, 20 minutes before your timer goes off, okay? So that's 10 minutes in, all right? So now let's go ahead and put these in our preheated 375-degree oven. And we're gonna bake them for 22 minutes in the middle rack. All right, and I'll see you when it's done. All right, friends, this is how your cinnamon rolls should look. Perfectly golden brown. Amazing. Don't be alarmed by the butter and sugar that melts. It's a part of the process. We're gonna let them cool. What you want to do is gently slide these off of the tray onto a cooling rack and let them cool down for 10 minutes. And I'm going to show you the icing. All right, friends. So what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and make our icing while our cinnamon rolls are cooling down. We want to get 1 cup of powdered sugar.
Sugar. What cup? What cup?
Yes, 1 cup of powdered sugar.
Powdered sugar.
1 teaspoon of vanilla. And a tablespoon of water.
Yeah, we're doing that.
All right, and you want to go ahead and whisk together. I added a little too much powdered sugar. Please excuse the children in the background. Even if I try to tell them to sit down, they just want to be near mommy, and I can't blame them for that. And I'm gonna be this small forever. So please excuse the children. They're a little loud. Put a little too much water in there. I didn't measure. Hey, baby. I just want to show you how thick it should be. Don't be like me and put too much water in it. That's what I get for eyeballing right now. All right, we're almost to the viscosity that I'm looking for. Here we go. Nope, this needs a little bit more water. All right. Too watery, then I made it too thick. Now it's just right. Okay. So your icing should look like this. Boom. You just let it sit.